Good morning, dear students. Welcome in social science class. Dear students, as we all know that we have started our 11th chapter, that is Rise of Small Kingdoms in South India. The first part we have already completed, that about Cholas and the Pandyas, and other territories were also there. In between we were having Cheras also. And next we have the topic governance in South India, that was quite famous. Administration was there, economy was there, society was there, religion was there, education was there, and art and architecture was there. These were the specific topics which was covered under the governance in South India. So we will discuss in detail one by one. We will see that how many topics we will cover, and then after we'll continue with the next video. So the first one we have administration. Administration, how was the administration in South India? Although in North India this administration was quite different, all powers were already given to the king here also, but there are some differences between the administration of North India and the South India. So we'll start with the first. King was the head of the state. There king was the head of the state, and all the ownership was only given to the king, and hereditary system was there. Hereditary means one generation to another generation. If king is there, his son, his successor will be a king over there in the territory after the demise of the king. Other person will not be allowed to control over the territories. King's main duty was to protect his empire, whether it was internal attacks, whether it was external attacks. The king's main duty was to protect his whole empire with the external attacks. Next, they were enjoyed unlimited rights. Many rights were there. That was totally unlimited. Administration divided into different departments. King was assisted by his subordinate officials, although he was quite smart and not bound to follow their opinion and all, but still he was taking suggestions from their court ministers. Kingdom was divided into small provinces, the small territories, which was called mandalams, and those mandalams controlled by the officials and followed by king's instructions only. They were not having any particular rules and regulations. All the rules and regulations were framed by kings only. The next we have here economy. How was the economy? How was the economy? Wait. Now the next we have economy. How was the economy and economical system in South India? Land revenue was the main source of income. That was quite famous because revenue, the taxes, was the main source of income of the kings, and that was given or collected by the poor section of the society, especially from the farmers. And the produce, one third of the produce was fixed by the Chola rulers, that they have to give one third of their production as a tax to the rulers. Economic condition of the people was quite good because maximum were depend on the agriculture, trade and weaving. These were the specific occupations, and the condition of the people, especially regarding financial matters, that was quite strong. Good irrigational facilities for agricultural produce was there. Many people, they were using irrigational functions for their agriculture and other processes. Rulers spending huge amount for the welfare of the people as well. Otherwise, it was quite difficult to manage with the other things. Next, we have society. How was the society? In South India, society was also caste-ridden, just like we have discussed in North India. The society was caste-ridden. And the Brahmins and the Kshatriyas dominated the lower castes. But over there, the weaker section of the society, the poor peasants, they were paying taxes and other remunerations. Peasants Tilled means agriculture, to do agriculture. Peasants tilled the land which belonged to the rulers of the temples. It was totally land ownership by the kings or the zamindars, and the people, they don't have proper rights. Next we have religions. Religion plays a very important role over there, and just like in North India, they were also Buddhism and Jainism was not that much famous. Although they were preached, they were used by them, but they were not quite famous. Only Hinduism was quite famous, and Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva was quite famous deities over there. Main centers for study was Kanchipuram. It was quite famous for the higher educations over there, especially belongs to the religious percepts. Famous languages were used by the people, that was Sanskrit and Tamil. Two famous epics were very famous, that was Ramayana and Mahabharata. Then later it was translated into different literary languages, and two literary work were quite famous over there, that Sila Padikaram and Mani Mikkalai. So this was all about, and the rest we will continue in the live session. Till then, you read chapter up to religion and try to understand the topic. Okay then.